All right, and good evening. This would be the Lone Wolf, and I'm getting ready to get started on EVE Online today. The primary plan, I'm still working on getting the characters set up for combat play, for faction warfare. I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work, so we will see. And that was a little loud. Alrighty. So here we are, logging in game.
Skill training completed.
Trying to get a few things set up really quick. Okay. Let's double check here. EVE Online. Yep, looks good. Alrighty. Alright, so like I said, we're still working on getting into faction warfare, and I suppose realistically I could just jump into Gallente space and do it, but nah, not feeling it. So see, one of the reasons why I don't perform faction warfare is because there's a minor issue where once you set up under a faction, the opposing faction will actively try to blow you up. So in the case of this character here, who is Gallente, but tends to be parked in a Caldari space, I'd have to repark him for an extended period of time. So, and it takes up to 24 hours after you leave the faction warfare militia before they decide to remove you from the combat role that you were in. You know what? Nah, I'm fine. I really want to get started on the faction warfare thing, which is where I'm having the issue, because I mean, ultimately, I'm really bad at it, but I'd like to show at least what you're going to be doing for it. So, You know what? Yeah. We're gonna make a minor adjustment here.
Connecting.
Alright, I'm just going to use my alpha account because, well, to be honest, it's already set up with Faction Warfare stuff and I don't have to do anything fancy to make it work. So, again, the biggest thing to remember about Faction Warfare is the fact that, okay, good, is the fact that you're going to lose your ships. There's no two ways around it. If you're planning on trying to go in and never lose anything, then this is the wrong thing to do. So we go into here, into Faction Warfare, and we're going to look for Faction Warfare stuff that's not too far away. So it looks like I could do Old Man Star, or Ladisteer. Now the more, oh, looks like actually looks like we're starting to lose some spots. Now, if you see here, I'm going to center this up so you're not in the fuzz. The more stable it is, the higher your rewards will be. So it looks like it's going on. Like yesterday we were in T4. Looks like we're now down to T3, Tier 3. So let's see. Most of these are a couple jumps away. Anyway, so it's rather interesting to see that we have one star system here that's about to change hands. So we're gonna adjust this for jumps, and Devon looks like it's relatively close, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit up Devon. First things first, we need some kind of a ship. Now, like I said before, you can... Wait, why did I just grab my venture? I don't want my venture. There we go. Bellator. So, I've looked up some of the fittings to do this, and now granted, the article is relatively old, but interestingly, it said you could use a Bellator, and it said to not put anything on it. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So, let's see, we're going to go to Devon. And the reason we're going there is because it has a slightly higher contested rating. The higher the contested rating, the more faction points you're going to get. Alright.
Warp drive active.
The only downside is we got to go through Old Man Star to get there, and that's not exactly the most friendly place. So we'll see what happens. Now, because I'm in a rookie ship, I will be able to access pretty much everything. That's not to say I should, but I could. What you're looking for is you're looking for the complexes. The higher the complex level, the more points you get for it.
Warp drive active.
Now you'll have 4 different complex types. You'll have novice, small, medium, and large. Novice is for your rookie ships and your tier 1 faction only frigates. And apparently industrial, so if you really wanted to set up a venture for combat, you theoretically could. Then your next option would be your small, which should be frigates and destroyers, except for T3. Medium, frigates, destroyers, and cruisers. And large is unrestricted. Any ships can go do it. I haven't been an Old Man Star in almost a year. Because I learned it wasn't a very safe place to go for mining. Now, as you see, or maybe you might not see it so well, let me go ahead and shift my camera view a little bit. As you see, it says we're in factional warfare area. The higher the level of the factional warfare, the more the cheaper things become for you, and the more likely you'll get better payouts. Now we're going to skip Old Man Star for now. As you see, this guy here is a purple. Typically, purples don't shoot purples. Another thing you're going to notice, I'm going to turn it on here. Another thing you're going to notice here is that not everybody is in the factions. These people can still engage you, and they will. So be ready for that. My son keeps talking about, you know, I want to do the combat thing. I keep trying to tell him, if we do faction warfare, that's where the combat is. But then he goes ahead and logs onto stupid games like Fortnite. All right. Now, as you see here, you have small outpost, medium, should be a large, unless someone just finished up the large, and that would explain why it's not there.
Warp drive active.
Oh, there it is. There's our novice. So, the easiest way to do it is just to Control-Alt-P. I'm sorry. It's Alt-P. And then warp to where you're trying to go.
Warp drive active.
Now, when you get there, one of the things you're going to notice is there will be an NPC defender. It will be there. Let's see here. 10% contested. So that means, now mind you, this particular character is on the Gallente militia due to my corporation. You're going to warp in. Now, a lot of people will suggest you don't warp directly to the location to warp within 10. So that way, because apparently sometimes you get hung up on this. Your warp gate. Oh, I was told it can handle this. They must have changed it. That's not a problem. Let's see. Now, as you can see, this particular one is set up with a shield defense. This is probably the bare minimum of what you would want for faction warfare. Obviously, anything you can add to that to make it more powerful is good, but at the same time, you also have to remember that you're going to be losing the ship. So the less you spend on it, the better overall. So, and this one is one of my design. Now I chose to armor tank this one. Not entirely sure why, but I did. So we're going to... yeah, we're going to head back. Which sucks, but, you know, c'est la vie.
Warp drive active.
This is just a stock Bellator. Realistically, I could just dump it off.
Warp drive active.
There we go. Now what we're doing right now is we're on our way to pick up one of the ships I have tucked aside in actual faction warfare space.
Warp drive active.
I may have to come back with a missile ship just to clean up these Guristas, just because why not? Now, as you can see, I'm now in enemy territory.
Warp drive active.
This is not by design, but hey, it makes it a little more entertaining. If I lose the ship, I lose the ship.
Warp drive active.
Now, as long as I am in enemy territory, if someone were to come at me, they would not get in trouble for doing so. So, it's kind of important to make sure I focus on getting my butt where I'm trying to get.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Now I wound up catching the warp 2 instead of the jump button, so I canceled it and remodified it out for a a jump instead of just sitting there.
Warp drive active.
There we go. Back where I belong. Well, apparently somebody was bringing an Atron through and didn't quite make it the whole way.
Warp drive active.
7 more jumps, I might make it. Looking good so far.
Warp drive active.
And it's funny, I think the other person at Bellator happens to be going the same general area as I am. Or if not the same area, they're going the same warp gate. Yep, there they are.
Warp drive active.
I don't think they're specifically tracking, we just happen to be heading in the same direction, but it's always entertaining to see that coming your way and be like, oh, am I in trouble? Camera case out of the way. This is where the nerves start to get to really, really rattling here, because they got 4 more jumps to go. And this is that area when people start to know, yep, this guy is going towards faction warfare space. Now the reality is that's actually pretty far from what I consider to be home on this character. I think it's something to the effect of like 20 jumps. And the reason it's so far is because I didn't exactly set up based on faction warfare. I set up based on where I was comfortable. And now, here I am, getting ready to go get blown up in faction warfare. But yeah, when you're doing faction warfare, you're expecting to lose your ships, so keep them cheap. Or be ready to lose the more expensive boat. Because you are likely to lose it.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Well, that wasn't a little nerve-wracking at all. Raven Navy issue, pulling up right next to me. As you see, we're getting ready to whip past a non-friendly base here. In fact, it looks like it's practically on top of the warp gate. We'll find out. There it is. Zoom. And there's an abandoned Emperor right here. And a Praxis. All right. So we're gonna jump into the Novice. Oh, wait, no. I gotta finish making it. I gotta pick up my boat.
Warp drive active.
Now, these... And it looks like there is
Active.
one opposing faction person here. So this is where it gets to be a little more entertaining. I'll be the first to tell anybody, I'm terrible at this. I really am. But
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I figure worst case scenario, I lose a ship and then I'll have done the faction warfare stuff. And it looks like I'm the only one here. Of course I am. Alright, let's see if this thing has... Alright. Now, this one is very much stock. Again, this is actually a gifted unit to me. I didn't build this one. And if it was up to me, I would have tanked or added at least some kind of repair unit to it. Unfortunately, I don't have any on hand. I guess I could check to see if there's any available for purchase. Bit of a drive away. We're going to trim this down to only show what's available. So let's take a look here. Hull armor. Yeah, so there's really nothing here that I could realistically plug in. So, looks like I'm stuck with an untanked Atron. Alright. Alright. My opponent is also apparently in an Atron. And they're probably in the novice one. Yep.
Warp drive active.
So what we're going to do, it's probably, they've probably been chipping away at this for a little while here.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
So what you do is... Yeah, he's still there. You want to stay within a close enough range to this here, the stronghold point, that you'll actually continually have the timer run down. Yeah, what am I doing? That's on my team. Why am I shooting him? Because I'm dumb, that's why. And I believe the range is something like 10,000 kilometers. Oh man, I'm an idiot. Shooting my own faction defender. Now we know that this is the only guy in the region. And we know that he is here for the moment. There he is. And now he's off. Now if he comes at us, we'll know almost immediately. But at this point, it's simply a matter of sitting here, waiting for the timer to expire. We are going to load up with our heavier hit ammunition. Now once you fall outside of the acceptable range of this unit here, it will stop the timer. Now one of the things you want to watch for in the way we're doing this is for this to disappear. Once that disappears, that means he's finished it. which means he may be on his way here. Or he may wait for the next novice one to hit. But here's the thing to remember. If I can see him, he can see me on the scanner. And he's probably doing the exact same thing I am, looking at this saying, oh my goodness, someone's here. Yeah, he's still there. Once this timer runs out and I've gained the points, then I could move on. Theoretically, I can move on to the next one. And I highly doubt he just got there, so I'm expecting that this one here, this marker that shows where he is, to disappear in the next 2 or 3 minutes. And there it went. So the question becomes, does he wait until the next one? The next novice one, which is right there. Alright, so he's definitely moved on. And he went to the other novice one. So there's a strong likelihood he's not going to come over to this small one that I'm hitting now. He's most likely going to keep bouncing off the novice ones because they take the least amount of time to work your way through, while providing the least realistic risk to a smaller ship like the Atron. By running the small, I run the risk of running into destroyers, but we know that this guy's running an Atron, so it may be a completely untanked, unprepared setup. I don't know. And most likely he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's watching to see if I twitch in his general direction. And if I had any kind of tank on this ship, I'd probably go risk a visit. But I don't. Yeah, he's going to be running the novice. Wait a minute. The ship doesn't even have any droid. Why is this on here? Ay, ay, ay. Well, it's a newer character. Might be an alt, though. What do you think? Should I go after him? I lose the ship, I lose the ship. And this very realistically can be the extent of what you get on faction warfare. It really depends on what you wind up doing and how it winds up going. Yeah, they just signed up with Faction Warfare Fleet today. If I blow them up, I get Faction Warfare points. If they blow me up, they get Faction Warfare points. My only concern is most likely they're at least tanked, whereas I would have to rely on speed and pray to beans that my weapon does more damage than theirs. There we go. I got 6,125 loyalty points.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
And they warped out. And they left entirely. Oh well, he left. Well, they left. And now I just sit and wait for the timer to run through. And as you see here, Federal Defense Union, that is where I have the most loyalty points. And so that's where I could spend them on benefits and boosts. Uh-oh. Get her on Mark 5. probably just passing through. Yeah, most likely just passing through. Based off of the kill list we see here. So we're gonna... Well, I don't know. It could be an industrial configured for combat. Not entirely unheard of. Alright, so nope. He was just riding the highway. I wasn't sure if he'd run away or not. I didn't think he'd take off like that. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got. I don't think he can visit here. Let's see. Frigates only. So, yep, I'm safe. I do find it mildly interesting, though, that in a catalyst, he's named it an Nikkei. And let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 7, 27 days. 1 month into the game. Ah. Your age belies your aptitude in game. Well, what makes you say that? Here, let's go ahead and narrow this down good and tight. Okay, looks like he's in a medium. Took a long break in Eve since 2015. Ah, okay. Well, the good news is I'm terrible at the game, so... He's sitting on a medium instead of a light, so he's going up against... Yeah, he's going up against a cruiser in that. But then again, with a proper tanking, you'd probably be fine. You can fight each other in the... Oh no, somebody would eventually win. And like I was saying a minute ago, he, if I see him, he can see me. So why would he name his ship Hecate? I really want to say that. Ah, that's why, to make it look a little scarier. Up. Alright. He's most likely just passing through. The shame is I'm not going to get any bonus points for wiping out the for scaring off the guy who was sitting here. D-scan see cloaked Asteros. No, D-scan does not see cloaked Asteros. That having been said, oh, well, actually, someone just came on board. No, D-scan won't see a cloaked Hestero. That being said, at the time it was just me and the other person in. And whoever this is, they're in a cloaked ship. Wait a minute. Ah, there it is, the Rifter. Which means there is a likelihood they can... This guy's got a little more time under his belt.
Warp drive active.
Bye-bye. Other guys were fighting and you were watching.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, the directional scan still will not detect cloaked ships.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
The only way you're going to find a cloaked ship is to get right up on them within cloak deactivation range. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm absolutely lacking in tank, I would have absolutely given it a shot. Let's see what's on this ship. Yeah, it's between 2 and 2.5, yeah. I think I'm flying the wrong ship. Alright, what do we have loaded? Nothing. This is one of the gifted ships, so if I were to lose that one, it's really not a massive loss. The only concern is, I mean, pretty sure he's just outside waiting for me to pop my head out. Or the bounty of 1 billion. He's let's see here. Was it complicated? It will be now. Don't send a human, send a robot. EVE Online, don't send your main, send an alt. Alright. Looks like he left system because I wasn't going to play his game.
Warp drive active.
Ooh, the cavalry came. And a bunch of jackdaws.
Warp drive active.
Got him. I think. All right. That was, he's in a small. And there's that guy again.
Warp drive active.
You want to try faction warfare, but you're worried about that. You know what? I can understand the feeling. The Tengu. Uh-oh.
Warp drive active.
I mean, it can be entertaining. It really can. It's just a matter of whether or not you're looking for group content or solo content.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now, it's not terribly difficult to do one-on-one on this stuff, especially when you're in an area where you've only got one or two people on the map.
Warp drive active.
I'm watching this Zulang person here because they warped out and then right back in. I'm wondering if he's being chased by the Rifter. I think he's being chased by the Rifter.
Warp drive active.
Interesting. Ah, there it goes. What I was noticing was that Rifter never disappeared off a directional scan. So I was thinking maybe it got abandoned, but There's only a faction security level 4. Yeah, you're gonna find all of the faction warfare stuff to be in low security or null sec. Excuse me. Yeah, the one I'm in now, I believe. Yeah, the one I'm in now is point 4 as well. Closer to where I normally dock up, though. There's a lot of it in point 3, actually. That's always a little nerve-wracking. But you're going to find a lot of times, though, this is what a lot of the faction warfare stuff winds up being. The other opportunity you may have is if you feel like gate camping, excuse me, areas that are well known for enemy faction transportation. I actually wound up dropping a transport ship that way. It wasn't exactly the plan, but it was kind of funny. I'm thinking, though, because I have work in the morning, win, lose, or draw, this is going to be my last one here. Because, unfortunately, I got to go to sleep. Whew, excuse me. Yeah, I'll be honest, this tends to be a lot of what goes on for faction warfare stuff. Faction warfare used to be a lot bigger. Let's see here. 25.3% contested. So just my bouncing around and hitting a few of these places up has improved the contested rating. Ooh, excuse me. And even that's the case even though I took off and ran when a guy who I knew was going to be in much better combat position showed up. Hmm. Two months total. If you can get into the system to participate, I would when I'm ready. Honestly, yes, it can be a lot of fun, but can also be very intimidating. Especially if you're like me and you know you're really, really bad at PvP. And a lot of that boils down to my training, how well trained my pilot is in comparison to some of the people I go up against. Yeah, I mean, that's really the big thing about it. Now, I went ahead and I did a little bit of frigate mob stuff, but it turned out that I was the weakest one on the fleet, and the guy we caught with his pants down apparently saw where the weakest damage was coming from and came after me and dropped me just seconds before the rest of my group dropped him. It was pretty fun. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, the faction warfare, it has the opportunity to be a lot of fun. It really just depends on how many people show up. And clearly today's not everybody shows up day. I mean, my other alternative is to go specifically looking for places where there's more combat going on. But this is really, I think this is going to be it for me for the evening, because like I said, I got work in the morning. And yes, that is true. The thing about frigate fleets is you can take down millions of ISK targets while losing low-value frigates. And that is very true. Your frigates are definitely your cheapest ones. And if you get a decent group together who, you know, do a good job meshing, it can get pretty interesting, especially when you're taking down battleships or larger with nothing but frigates. But it's still a little intimidating. And now I'm by myself. Alright. Well, it wasn't beautiful, it wasn't extensive, but it did happen. So, I'm going to go ahead and get docked up.
Warp drive active.
Because for as much as I would love to stick around for a little while longer, yeah, work in the morning, that's definitely a thing, which sucks.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Excuse me. Well, thank you. I hope to. I'm actually going to put... I'm going to install a a jump clone here. So that way, next time I can just jump out here when I feel like doing this kind of stuff again. So, that's that for me. It's been fun, but unfortunately, sleep doth call my name. So, with any luck, you'll see just how entertaining the faction warfare can be. It really is worth a shot, especially if you enjoy the PvP aspect of EVE Online. There's a little bit more at risk to it, and at least you know what you're going to be getting into instead of risking people showing up who are just going to one-shot your ship. Anyway, this is the Lone Wolf, signing off for the evening. Have a wonderful evening, fly safe, and I will see you in the near future.